The Dilemma of a King. Solomon and his 1,000 women, a story of power, passion, and apostasy that sealed the fate of a nation. Solomon, the legendary king of Israel, is celebrated for his unparalleled wisdom and for the construction of the majestic temple in Jerusalem. However, his story is also marked by a facet that intrigues and warns to this day. His relationship with about 1,000 women, a number that, according to the Bible, led him to spiritual and political ruin. According to the Book of 1 Kings, Solomon had 700 wives, many of them foreign princesses, and 300 concubines. At a time when political alliances were often sealed through marriage, union with daughters of pharaohs and kings of neighboring nations such as Moab, Ammon, and Edom was a strategy to ensure the peace and prosperity of Israel. However, the divine law given to Israel, specifically in the book of Deuteronomy, was clear. The king should not multiply for himself wives, lest his heart should turn away, nor multiply much for himself silver and gold. Solomon, in his opulence and self-confidence, ignored this commandment. The influence of these foreign women proved fatal to the king's faith. They brought with them their own pagan gods and rituals. Ashtaroth of the Sidonians and Molech of the Ammonites had altars in Jerusalem, the holy city. The king who had built the temple for the one God of Israel now bowed to idols to please his wives. The biblical narrative is emphatic in pointing out that, in his old age, his women perverted his heart to follow other gods. The wisdom that had made him famous was overshadowed by passions that drove him away from his covenant with God. The consequences were severe. Solomon's idolatry drew divine wrath, which sentenced the division of his kingdom. After his death, the 10 northern tribes rebelled, leaving only a remnant under the rule of his lineage. The unified and prosperous kingdom he had inherited from his father, David fragmented a tragic legacy from a king whose wisdom was not enough to protect him from his own weaknesses. The story of Solomon and his 1,000 women thus serves as a powerful allegory about how power and desire can corrupt even the wisest, and about the lasting consequences of deviating from the principles of faith.